Alright guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel, and I'm going to be talking about everything that is going on right now regarding Nintendo. As far as the sales goes, the reveal of these new Joy-Cons, and I think that's about it. But yeah, let's just talk about these, supposedly disappointing, holiday sales. We still don't even have all of the numbers or anything like that for these holiday sales, but some guy, and I already forgot his name, but some doofus that is very well known. He's also well known for being a liar, being inaccurate, getting things wrong. I think he once said that Game Pass was not profitable, and Microsoft and Xbox came out and corrected him and said actually it is profitable, and he had to walk back his statement. So this is a guy who is definitely full of crap, and he's not somebody to be trusted. Now, I'm hearing that he has been talking about the sales of the Nintendo Switch 2. He's basically been comparing it to the sales of the Nintendo Switch 1 in the year of 2017, which was basically the launch year of the Nintendo Switch. And he's been saying, yeah, the sales are down 35% compared to the Switch sales, which Nintendo Switch was coming off of the failure of the Wii U. So many people were starving for a brand new console. And then you had Super Mario Odyssey. So there's a lot of factors there and whatnot that really made the sales of the Switch do so well in the holiday season of 2017. As far as the Switch 2 goes, whether the sales are bad or not, I'm only hearing that this guy, he doesn't have all of this, the complete, he doesn't have all the numbers, essentially, at all. But yeah, he's saying the sales are down 35%. So apparently he's only talking about in the UK. I've even heard some people say that he was also talking about Zimbabwe, a piece of shit country like that. Yeah, I don't imagine people in Zimbabwe are really rushing out to buy video game consoles. That the economy over there is probably one of the worst economies in the world. So anyways, yeah, apparently this has been the latest doom and gloom bullshit when it comes to Nintendo. But here's the thing, I'm actually not too mad about it, because I'm kind of hoping we do get some negative news. And if it ends up being true that the holiday sales for Nintendo were pretty mediocre even for December, that wouldn't really bother me so much if that means that their stocks drop down in price. So if their stocks plummet a little bit and the price of their shares drops down dramatically, that would be a great buying opportunity for me, because I have been buying a lot of their shares lately. And man, I would actually really like it if they were to drop down below $10. In fact, even drop down to $2, where they once were many, many years ago. I think during the Wii U, they were around there. I could be wrong, but I think they were around $2 a share. They were at some point around $2 a share. I know when the Nintendo Switch came out, actually, Pokemon Go came out, and their stocks went up pretty high. Then the Nintendo Switch came out, and they've been going up really high ever since then, but we're starting to see them trend back down again. That's fine by me, because look, I have faith that they're going to jump up again, because Nintendo's going to do something to get hundreds of millions of people to want to buy their console. There's no doubt in my mind that there's 100 million people in this world who do want to get the Nintendo Switch 2. There's no doubt about it. It is the fastest selling console for a reason. And just because people hadn't gotten it yet during the holiday season doesn't mean they won't. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who's like, yeah, I do want to get my hands on it. There are people still buying a Nintendo Switch. You got to understand. And the Nintendo Switch is still outselling the PS5 in Japan. I mean, you gotta think to yourself, man, there's people still buying that, and that's an 8-year-old console. So you really think, the sales of the Switch 2 are just gonna completely go down the toilet? People are just gonna stop, It's only like 20 million, hardcore Nintendo fans that want this thing? Nah. course, there's a lot of people I know for sure that are going to want to buy another Nintendo Switch 2. But I have full faith and confidence in Nintendo that they're going to do something really big, really soon. There's going to be a huge announcement or something, and it's going to get people rushing to the stores to try to pick up a Nintendo Switch 2. All right, we all know that's going to happen. Nintendo has been in a much worse place before with N64, GameCube, and the Nintendo Wii U. And I think the Nintendo Wii U was probably their worst generation, and look what happened. They were able to come back really big, really strong. Now, Nintendo's strategy with the Nintendo Switch 2 is not the same as it was with the Switch, obviously, because, the Nintendo Switch was extremely successful. So instead of trying to, put out all of the big games, everyone's saying, we got to get the big mainline Mario game. We got to get the big Zelda game. Well, no, we don't. What Nintendo needs to do is wait until the install base gets much bigger, then release those big games. That way they sell way better. And they sell way better much faster. That's what they want. They want to have their games sell 10 million or so copies in just 1 week, as opposed to it's like, okay, you release a big game and it sells like a few million, but not everybody has a Nintendo Switch 2 yet. And so now it's like it's taking longer for them to hit that goal, right? It's taking much longer. And you know what? That could be a bad thing, because there might be a lot of people out there who, by the time they get a Switch 2 console, it's already too late. There's another new game that just came out that they really want, These are things you have to take into consideration. So, a lot of this is going on. We haven't gotten the official numbers yet. They probably did very well. Maybe they didn't do that well. We'll see. But, of course, people are going to run with this, negative news or whatever from this one guy who is notorious for lying and, being disingenuous. And it looks like that's what he's doing here right now. And you know what's funny? This same guy, I saw his video when he first published it because it was immediately recommended to me. And it only had like 1,000 views when it was recommended to me. I think it had just, released hours prior to me seeing it. And YouTube was already shoving it in my face. This just goes to show you that YouTube definitely seems to have some type of like bias against Nintendo. Like this is the kind of content they're gonna just promote and shove in people's faces, and that's why you got other people doing it. You got other people making stupid negative Nintendo content and whatnot. But now let me just talk about the Joy-Cons that were revealed. Nintendo revealed these new Joy-Cons or whatever. Stupid ass colors. All right, it's like a baby blue, baby purple color. It's like light purple and light blue, like a baby blue. I'm like, why? Why the hell are these the fucking colors? First of all, it's stupid because you're either gonna attach it to the thing and not even really see much of it, or you're gonna be playing with a Pro controller instead. I mean, it's really stupid. It just doesn't make any sense. I saw that. I'm like, these are some dumbass colors. Whose idea was it to make those the fucking colors, to make those the new Joy-Cons that we can use? It should have been Joy-Cons that are transparent, that you can see right through it. You can see like, the chips inside of it or whatever, and it lights up. Wouldn't that have made more sense? Like, you keep the same colors, right? Blue and red, that's what we have already. Or no, it's more like a blue and orange, whatever. But it's like transparent and it lights up. That would have been way better. That would have been something I would definitely buy. Not this stupid, baby blue, baby purple. Like, who the hell is this supposed to appeal to anyways? I don't understand that color choice whatsoever. I don't get it. I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they thought that was something worth, announcing. But yeah, I gotta be honest and say that is garbage. That's stupid. They need to do better when it comes to like their color choices for Joy-Cons, or just their design choices in general. Again, a transparent, Joy-Con would have been cooler. If they can't do that or whatever, like if they're not able to just make it transparent. I mean, they could. Something that lights up, maybe. I don't know. They could have done anything besides that stupid color. So that's just a little quick rant about the Joy-Cons that they revealed to us. I thought that was garbage. So yeah, there's that news. Unfortunately, the shares had not really dropped down, so I think that's because everything we're hearing right now is just speculation, and we don't even have all the numbers. Matt Piscatella said it. He said, we don't have all the numbers yet. We don't have anything yet, so we'll see. We'll see if they did really good. Now, the funny thing is, let's just say they are down 35% from, 2017 or whatever. Don't forget that back in November, every video game sales were down across the board. And for PlayStation, they were down 40% from last November. So in other words, even though they had their big $100 discount, they were still down 40%. So everyone's trying to do all this doom and gloom. Oh, look, sales are plummeting for Nintendo. Shut up. All right. Sales of video games have been down across the board for everybody. However, that doesn't change the fact that out of all of them, Nintendo Switch 2 is still selling way more. They are still the fastest selling console of all time. So that's going to be it for all that bullcrap. But I kind of, I do sort of hope that there is some negative news, right? Just for the shares to drop down in price. I really hope so. Because I'm buying up shares. I want them to drop down. I want them to get much cheaper so I could buy even more. And if it does drop down below $10 and $5, oh, I'm going to buy a shit ton of them. So anyways, that's it for this video. You guys let me know what you think about all this bull crap. Apparently GTA being delayed again, I don't care, but let me know what you think about all this, and I'll talk